live. Hello. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, peeps.
Hi.
Hi, Lakota. Hi, John. Hi, Rich.
Welcome to the Jedi Archives. Excited. It's been a while since we've seen you, everyone. Today we're going to cover the High Republic Adventures, issue number 2.
And I'll go ahead and get started by sharing my screen with this League of Comic Geeks.com.
Oh, hang on, I've got the sound now.
So put your computer on mute and turn, everything on your computer turned down or off.
Oh my god.
Is your sound back on? Oh, it sounds like your computer sound is back on.
2 secs.
Oh, Lakota, I think you're good.
Am I good?
Turn your phone off.
Yeah. Yeah, turn your phone off.
As you guys in the SW universe can tell, we've been having some technical difficulties this morning, but we are soldiering through it for you guys.
It's all my fault. Sorry, guys.
No, there's no blame. It's something that just happens.
It's technology's fault. It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
It's just your foot in the barrel, Lakota.
Yeah,
So
no,
here-
blame it on me. It's my fault. I'm
No.
49 days late and can't get onto my laptop properly.
So we're on issue number 2 of IDW, High Republic. Here's the main cover with Lula Talasola. I'm really digging this artwork. It's really cool. I love the artwork in IDW.
So my first question, because I wasn't here for our last gathering, is are there as many variants covers as there is with the Marvel series?
No, not even close. Usually like 2, only 2 or a couple of covers. So here's the main cover. We got Lula Talasola with her lightsaber. I just think she looks gorgeous. So I'm a little confused because she's just recently become a Jedi, right?
Yeah.
She was just,
Was she a Padawan
But she
or
looks-
she just recently
She's a Padawan. so-
anointed?
She was a Padawan and just recently became a Jedi. So, but she looks older. Right. Sometimes she looks young. So this is the main cover. Lula says Disney prominently. It's got this nice gold little High Republic.
See her lightsaber. Notice it's not super ornate like a lot of the other ones we're seeing around.
Yeah.
the timeline.
Yeah.
It's kind of more like a traditional one we've seen.
Yep. Close this. Now let's look at one of the variants. There's only a couple of variants. This one's a black and white.
Oh, that's nice.
Buckets of blood.
Yeah, we'll
Yep.
get to
I
that.
think he's your favourite, hey, Jonathan, just because of his name.
Buckets of blood. He's what is he, a Chagrian? Chagrian, right?
Yeah.
Like these remind me of the Batmobile.
Yeah.
It sort of does.
The one that has a big engine in the back, remember? Which one was that?
That's number 2. Well,
I'm not down with DC. Sorry, guys.
So it's pretty cool. And then the third variant is just the same cover, but in color.
Oh, that's
Oh.
really cool.
He's got his lightsaber outside his cockpit. He's like, yeah. Oh, they're going through the town.
What are these ships? Are these just speeders or these are just speeders, right?
I think so, but they came from, they dropped them from their main ship.
So they don't name, huh? Because they don't have a real cockpit, like you can go in space.
Right, it's not. It's just like a land speeder, you're right. But it was dropped from the ship. It's pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can see the devastation here. Oh, that's the fallout from the emergence from the Great Disaster.
Yeah.
So this is taking us way back to the beginning of the start of the High Republic. This is another emergence of the Great Disaster.
I definitely had to reset myself in the timeline because it's like, oh, wait, we're back here now.
Yeah, definitely.
Had to
It's kind
reorient.
of cool. It's cool reading this now with all that knowledge that we have because we've read so much forward and then going back to it. So here's
Honestly, I know we
How I
keep
was
saying
introduced
this.
to these characters. I was introduced to these characters in the other book, The Race. Crash Point. So it's like when I go back, it's like, oh, this is what these characters are. So it's definitely
Mhm.
interesting.
What was that, Lakota?
I was gonna say, I know we keep saying this, but the League of Comic Geeks website is such a great source of information, just because of the breakdown that it has by character and by different variant and stuff. It really, I mean, especially with anything High Republic related, there's so many characters and new planets and ships and all sorts, and this website just breaks everything down for you as deep as you want to go into it.
I
So
agree.
if you're watching and you keep thinking, how am I going to get my head around all the characters? This is how you do it.
Yeah, because when you scroll down, it gives you a list of the characters in that episode. But if you click on each character, it will give you a little background. So like here's Bibbs. And he was a Bravasian Jedi Padawan who lived during the High Republic era. There he is. And it tells you what comics he's featured in. Same goes for all the
and a
other
bit of history
characters.
as well.
So the others I knew, but not Bibbs. That's why I clicked on him.
Bibbs am I don't remember talking about Bibbs.
He barely comes out, yeah. But I went back and like, oh, there he is. So I'll point him out when we're going through it. But here's the intro. So Brelanak City Smackdown on Trimant 4. Flaming destruction has come to Trimant 4. Childhood best friends Zine and Crix try to find safety while Yoda's Padawans Lula, Barzal, and Quart are trying to evacuate the citizens. Oh, they're Padawans. But the Nile ship, yeah.
Everyone on that ship was Padawans.
You're right.
Yeah.
But the Nile ship won't let anyone on board, and when a massive battle breaks out, Crix and Zine get torn apart. So just a quick recap. In the first episode, the emergence happens and stuff is falling on the planet, and then Zine, she uses the Force to protect them, which is forbidden in this culture on Trimant 4. So then Crix is like, what the? He's all freaked out. But she apparently is very strong in the Force. And so...
And she's known it. She's just hid it.
Yeah, she's hidden it. And she lived on multiple planets. She's gone, you know, she's like homeless from planet to planet. And she ended up on this one. She's been on Trimant 4 for the longest. And she felt like this was home.
That was very interesting, I thought, because I don't recall ever seeing a planet that like banned Force use or was just highly against it. Different cultures would use it in different ways, but just to kind of acknowledge it and outlaw its use entirely, that was definitely a change.
It's really interesting because they're not even like against it; they're just against using it. They're like, we know it's an important part. They don't even like deny it. Like, we know it's needed, but we just don't like to use it. It's like almost like it's so holy they don't want to touch it. It's weird.
Yeah.
And then let me see. Did it flip screens? Or do I have to reach share?
We're back to the cover.
Okay, good. So this is actually in my Comixology. So we're going to look at the issue. And so there's the main cover. And here's the intro again, Chaos and Brelanak City, which I just read. And we know the Marauders are there, so there's buckets of blood.
So we were talking last time about the ship that looks like a spider.
Yeah.
And it's a Nile spider cruiser. That is the official name of it. It's actually a spider cruiser.
Yeah, it's so cool. It even looks like it has spider eyes with those lights.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in seeing what it looks like in flight in space. Do those legs retract or do they kind of fold back? Do we get some kind of like, you know, X-Wing type scenario, or does it just fly with the legs out?
Yeah, it's I don't know, like Voyager, the nacelles move.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of those probe droids, you know, the legs would probably just go down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like that. So here we see, we've got, so at the end of episode 1, she had just pulled out her lightsaber because they weren't letting them onto the ship. They're trying to evacuate the citizens. And so Lula's like, we're going to have to fight. So this picks up right after episode 1 ends, which is pretty cool because it's a continuation.
Yeah, there wasn't really even a conflict between the Nihil and the Jedi on this planet until they're like, well, let's evacuate the people on your ship. And they said no.
Right.
So that's kind of like, no, we're going to use your ship. And that's kind of where this is what's happening.
Right, because she tells them, you know, you can easily fit so many of these citizens on your ship. We're gonna let them in, and they're like, no. So here we see the Nile with all their masks, and they're not gonna let them in. So it's a showdown, and then Yoda shows up with buckets of blood. And then, oh wait, I like this part. Let me go back. Did I pass it? Oh, I like this part at the bottom where it says, time to crush these tiny Jedi. You know, they're like, oh, these are just a bunch of little kids, you know. And then from the side you hear, if looking for a tiny Jedi you are, we all know who that is. Tiny Jedi of them all, it's Yoda, Grandmaster Yoda. It's like, maybe I can help you out.
I really like this series that has, even though it's just kind of like a teaser just to get us in, and they have Yoda, and they even have Marchion in it. They're not in it tons, but the best shots we get on them through the whole, everything they've done, New Republic, this is the best looks we get at either of them. So I'm really happy about it.
Me too. And I'm glad that even though the High Republic era is way before most of our familiar Jedi are even born, Yoda is alive. So it's nice we get to see him here.
Yeah.
You know, it's a different side of him, so it gives us more depth to his character.
There's Bib, the bottom left.
Yeah, there he is. I'm like, oh, he is there. But the other ones are more prominent, I believe, because they actually have lines. They say things. So then Crix is with the leader, who he's like the shaman and
the governor or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, Marchion wants him for something. But you're right, Jonathan. They definitely are aware of the Force, because spoiler alert, that's why Marchion wants him.
Yeah.
To help find the artifacts. And then he's like, nope, we've got to take this boy with us. He's like, no, he stays. Marchion's just you. He's like, nope, I need him.
It's
you want me to help you find what you need.
We know what the artifact is. I guess we can. Do we spoil it? I don't know. But we know what the artifact is, and what it does is similar to what their religion is kind of like in a way. So it's kind of like, I wonder if their religion kind of made it. I don't know if we want to talk about that later, but it's interesting when you think about it, how the tie it has to their religion.
Right. And it's funny because I read this when it first came out, and at that time, I had no idea what that artifact was. It wasn't until later in the books that we find out.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. We know now what the artifact is, but it was part of the artifacts that he needed, because he needed more than one, right?
Two. Needed for 2 halves of it.
Yeah. So then he's like, convinces Marchion that they have to take the boy. So Marchion says, all right, but he's going to have to be useful. And then
we've got. Kind of wanted to save lives too, it seems like, and he's able to at least get one more, which is good.
Right.
But then he has a purpose for the child, and we find out later on too.
And here they are. They're battling, not being able to get on, and then they hurl something at them. These like cannonballs, right?
Yeah, it's almost like the Gungan thing, kind of like this energy ball that really doesn't do much.
Mm-hmm. But it's like a cannonball.
Yeah, it's Jello blob or something. Doesn't do nothing.
Well, Yoda slices it. And then Lula says she has to go get Crix. But then Yoda's like, no, you stay here. I'll go get him. So Yoda takes off, and then Marchion knows who Yoda is. He recognizes him.
Where it says that? I haven't read this in a while. Where does it say
right
that?
Here, he's like, is that? When he sees Yoda, he's like, is that?
Oh, yeah.
Sir? He's like, no. So he knows he's in trouble. He's like, you know what? Once he sees Yoda, he's like, let's get out of here.
Sir?
No.
Let's get out of here.
He's like, no. He recognizes Yoda. It's like, we're in trouble. Let's get out of here. So they get back into the ship, and Elder Tromak is there. And then...
That's not quite what I envisioned Marchion's helmet to look like, but I think
it looks too smooth. And this is what I was saying before about the Nihil in this versus the Nihil in the Marvel comics. It's just a little bit softer.
PG.
Because I think, and I'm assuming it's because it's for a younger audience. It's not quite as scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Marchion's helmet and his face is just so clean and pristine looking and smooth, where I was expecting him to be a little bit more intimidating.
At least the artwork of him when they released all those other ones, it doesn't look like that. It's definitely got some like, spikes on his helmet and stuff, so it's a little different.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
different. So I was thinking maybe he has different helmets
Maybe.
or different masks because it doesn't look like the one from the other series.
I know he does have different helmets. He does use one as a weapon, and he gets another one later. So
Yeah. So here you see this nice battle scene. I like this 2-panel spread. It's pretty cool.
yeah, there's a lot of action. They'll have to pick apart what's going on. Oh, there's Biv with his line. I.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He does have a line. For Light and Life, I like that. That's very High Republic for Light and
So
Life.
interesting because only 200 years later they ditched that saying.
I know.
Yeah.
And they say it a lot now. I mean, all the time.
Well, think about our language and things that we don't say from 100 years to 800 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we don't answer the phone and say ahoy ahoy. And that's not that long ago. Oh, and here it is, Galactic. I love these Galactic data files. So it's a spider. Yeah. There it is.
Wish these were in the Marvel ones. I just absolutely love these ones.
Yeah.
Wish there was like even multiple pages of these.
And
Does that second image there show the spider with his legs tucked under?
And
it looks like it.
Hell,
I think it's just a top view.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, because it looks kind of like the first picture, but from above, because you don't see the part where it's standing.
An underside view.
Well, could be. It doesn't give us much information.
It looks like the legs, the points of the legs are underneath.
Oh, the top, the front.
Oh,
one?
yeah, you're right. It does. It looks like
it's kind
like
of
they're folded in. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's my
like
point.
They go in like this. Yeah, it does. You're right. I do see the points. It could be an underside. You're right.
And because that's in general, that's what spiders do, is they tuck their legs in like that. So anatomically, it's fairly accurate.
Yeah. Except it has those lights. I think it's a top view because those lights match up with the lights on the top. But it does look like they tuck in. And we know spiders do that. So, and then we've got the Starhopper. And I was talking to Jonathan earlier that Starhopper looks a lot like the ship.
The one
it's not this one. That's right.
It's
not this
later.
one. Yeah. So here, Yoda borrowed Cham Cham from Zine. That was her little pet bat. And he's going to go get Crix. So he finds Crix. And
yeah, there's a misunderstanding here.
Yeah.
Save him, and Crix doesn't want to be saved.
No, because he's confused. And the thing is, Marchion told him, you've got to go find that green Jedi. Make yourself useful. So he's a little intimidated by Marchion, which he should be because Marchion's not a good guy. And so he finds Yoda, and Yoda's like, hey, I was sent by your friend. And he shows him Cham Cham. He's like, oh, Cham Cham. And, I like Cham Cham because it reminds me of Speed Racer and Chim Chim, but a little sidekick. But Cham Cham's so cute.
This
and then he's huh?
I don't know about this Crix kid, man. Ooh, she lied to me. He's crying the whole issue. It's like, dude, she's not supposed to even use that power. What happens in their culture when you do. Apparently, there's repercussions. Like, shut up. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Well, he's being whiny Luke. You know?
Yeah, or a little Keevish. Which I would like to get at some point to get into the differences between Lula and Keeve. I like Lula a lot more, but whatever. We'll get to that in time, I'm sure.
Me too. So he's a little conflicted though because he just found out, and he doesn't know how to deal with it. And here they are, they're fighting, and it doesn't look good for them. And they're like, and then they find out that she's pretty powerful because like, wow, not bad. She's a natural. And she hasn't been trained, so for her to be able to do these things without training, it's pretty good.
Yeah. I wish her story was a little different, but maybe it changes later on, but we'll get there eventually.
And then here they are. And Buckets of Blood says, I hate fighting. I came to teach first aid. You know, I'm not a battle Jedi. And there's Quart with his funny little face mask. I love Quart.
He has a face mask?
Yeah, that's a face mask.
I thought that was the way he looked.
No, it's a face mask. So we find out later that it's a face mask because have you read it, Lakota, when they give his backstory?
No.
Because Maz Kanata, he actually ends up in Maz Kanata's castle.
Okay.
Remember that one?
Issue.
Which one is that?
Yes.
I think it's like 8 or 9.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. And that's when we find out that that's a mask.
Oh, I thought that was his face. Like he had a skull on the outside of his face. That's interesting.
No, it's a face mask. So spoiler alert.
Okay. It's a crab skull that he's using.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And that actually helps to calm them down so they're not as destructive.
That's cool.
Because apparently he's pretty bad. Very naughty. So Buckets of Blood's like, Buck's like, let's get out of here. Run.
Dude, is it time for the Buckets of Blood? Are we going to discuss that right now? Because I was like, oh man, I was like, this dude's wild. Dude screaming buckets of blood going to the war, and then he just turns into a coward.
It's coming up. I think
It's coming. It's coming.
All right. I'll hold.
So then, Yoda's talking to Crix, and Crix is like, alarm, I found the Green Jedi, help. Like little traitor.
So I was really confused with what happened at the bottom of this one. Because you see Chan, like, he 6 Chan. Well, Samson 6 himself on one of the Nile. And then Yoda's like, oh, Cham. So I really didn't get what happened between those 2 slides. But when we read later, do you guys catch what happened?
Cham bit off their fingers and an arm.
Or a bit off his whole arm.
Yeah, he's a carnivore.
Why did not include that panel?
Because it's for kids, Jonathan. It's for children.
Oh, Cham. And later, he ate his arm. I was like, what?
How about Yoda with his Homer Simpson dough moment?
Yeah.
It really looks like he's going,
You know, with that panel where Yoda opens a box and it has that purple glow, that reminded me of John Travolta and when they opened the suitcase, right? That glow in
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, yeah, right? Doesn't it?
Yeah.
And they open the briefcase, it's like, you don't know what it is, but it's like, oh, it's something. That's pretty cool. So then they're making it back to the planet side. Oh, there's a ship with the red markings. That's the one on the top panel.
Yeah, we get a better view of it when it's in space in a little bit.
It reminds me of this one.
Yeah, looks just like the transport in Batu.
Yeah, so when we're escaping on Rise of the Resistance to go to Pakara, that's the rebel base. Don't say anything. Keep it secret. And so here they are. They're like, we're safe. Let's get out of here. The transport's there. And then then they ask him, hey, why are you called Buckets of Blood? He's like, well, because I'm a healer. He keeps blood within the body. He brings buckets of blood to save lives. So now, Rich.
I know. At first I was like, whoa, this dude is for real turning to the dark side, bro. He's a killer. He's screaming buckets of blood running into combat. And then I flip the page. I'm like, wait, what?
He's bringing transfusions.
I'm glad they explained it, but I still don't really care for it.
Yeah.
I remember
just
when they first mentioned him in one of the first books, like buckets of blood checking in or something like, and they just glance over it and they don't give any detail. I'm like, what? Jedi named Buckets of Blood? And
everyone was so excited. Everyone was so excited 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, thinking, yeah, this guy's going to come in and kick ass. And it's like, no, Buckets of Blood is a healer and he's a pacifist.
Yeah, and he's a chicken. He doesn't like to fight. He just likes Band-Aids.
He needs a better nickname.
Well, they do call him
more
Buck.
accurate one.
Oh, here these. You know what, Lakota, you're right. The legs do fold in because look, this is an underside view in the bottom panel.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, they are folded in.
I mean, look, it's not the most aesthetically pleasing or aerodynamic design ever in the world, but It's
No.
Nihil, so it was never going to
Yeah.
be.
Terrify. You see that landing on your planet, you're like, oh crap. So it's meant to
Yeah.
terrify you.
And there's no air in space, so it's okay. Doesn't need to be aerodynamic.
Yeah.
True.
And then they're like, Master Yoda, Cham, what happened? He's like all snoozing. It's all,
Well fed.
your crew is young Zine.
The
He
whole
ate
arm
a Nile. She's like, he ate a Nile?
is
Only some fingers and an arm, I believe.
It's like he's in a food coma. He's absolutely
Yeah.
stuffed his face, and now he's like, okay, nap time.
Look his little tummy. He's so cute.
I definitely like Cham Cham. At
Yeah,
first,
me
I didn't
too.
realize he had wings because he was like tucked in her jacket.
Yeah.
And once they see him fully expand, I was like, oh man, this dude, yeah, this thing is on it.
Yeah, I like Cham. So then he's talking about return to Starlight with us, you must. She's like, but I can't leave without Crix. He's like, nope. Only those that want to be rescued can be saved. And here's another view of it flying in space or upper atmosphere, and its legs are just tucked in.
Then there's that ship, the transport.
Yeah. That transport looks a lot like the one at Rise of the Resistance, the one that we take. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Those are vectors around it, right?
Yeah, those are vectors. Mhm.
Yeah,
Vectors.
that's a medical frigate. The bigger
Right.
one in the middle. I don't know if that was one you're referring to, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that bigger one, medical frigate. And those are taken from the Clone Wars cartoons. So they're in lots of episodes of the Clone Wars. It's pretty cool.
I thought, I guess we'll see on this next panel, but I thought it had some light similarities to the Blockade Runner. Kind of brought back that in my
A
mind.
little bit, yeah. A little
In the
bit because of the
front end,
structure of
mostly.
the front. Mhm.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
this
but
next
it's
panel, one of these
definitely-
next panels show it.
Yeah, it's definitely like the ones for the Clone Wars, though, because there's a bunch in the Clone Wars and lots of episodes that look just like this.
Right.
And then here we are back on the Spider Cruiser. He's all shields up, cannons on full charge. And it's like, those are Jedi vectors. And Marchian's like, oh, silence. Target the medical frigate. Fire. Boom. Kaboom.
When
So they shoot the medical
when
frigate.
you guys read Marchion in the comic, do you in turn is he sounding like how he does in the audiobooks to you? Oh, he has
Now he
He does to me.
does.
Yeah.
Now he
thought
does.
so.
But when I first read the comic, I hadn't heard his voice. So I thought it was more menacing, but yeah, now he's
Well, when
got
I
that
read
softer.
it, it's hard for me to make it to change it into that way with that pausing. How he does the pauses almost, and it's hard for me to do that. But I'm trying to, and it's just a little rough for me to actually do it. But I want him to sound like he does in those audiobooks. Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
You know, the first thing that really jumped out at me, because I was just catching up on 1 and 2 this morning, was just seeing this much of him visually.
Yeah.
I paid attention more to that than the dialogue, and I thought it was really cool that we finally got to see him. I like his helmet. Hey, his helmet's badass.
Very
I like it.
Vader-esque. He's got-
Yeah. And it's also like a Mandalorian, though. Look.
Yeah, it's not what I expected.
I
You know
like
what?
his fur.
voice wasn't for me the first time I saw it either,
Yeah.
or heard it. It was just a little different than I envisioned in my mind, I guess.
I guess the other thing is they kind of make him they look a little built, like he's got the wide shoulders and stuff. And I've always kind of from the books and vision very slender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the books he's described as quite slender.
Yeah.
I always envision him as tall and lanky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get the good shot of the medical frigate right there.
Yep. And then Crix is still conflicted, thinking about his friend, Zine. And then Lula's comforting Zine because she's leaving her planet and her friends, the only home that she's known for a while. And then little Cham Cham's still snoozing.
So it's fat right there.
He's so cute. Well, yeah,
Still
he
full
ate
in
some
the
fingers in
tummy.
an arm.
cute.
It's cute with his little hand claws. And then Lula's introducing Zine to all her Jedi friends.
I'm still getting used to their names. It's Farzelli.
Yeah.
Yeah, Farzelli's the one. Farzella.
Farzala, I think. Is it Farzala?
Farzala. It's
That's a
hard
tall
to-
one, right?
Yeah.
Farzala. And then Quart speaks whatever that little language is. Never understand what he's saying.
No idea that was a face mask or a helmet.
Yeah, it's a crab mask.
I hope they do something really fun with Zine. I believe her name is. I mean, she's clearly very strong in the Force, just to kind of pull that out of her rear, you know, in moments of great stress and potential tragedy. So I hope they develop her well.
She could definitely be the hero's journey. I mean, that she doesn't want any of this. She could be a huge part, and we'll just see, because it seems like she just becomes part of the gang, and kind of like I want her to really step forward and be more.
I do too. I want to see that journey happen. I'm with you on that. Chris,
Well, she does become more prominent though, as you keep reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still just on issue 2. I haven't read ahead at all, so you know it's all
No,
mystery to me.
she's prominent.
Good. I like Lulu, man. I do. Of course, I feel like the natural comparison is to compare her to Keeve, and I see a lot of similarities, but you can see how their decisions are different, or maybe even more specifically, how they deal with fear.
Mhm.
You know, Lulu tucks it away and does her Jedi thing. Keeve is constantly whining and thinking about her feelings and
Cursing.
Cursing,
Shut up.
yeah.
You know, no wonder you're one of the lost 20. Just shut up.
Yeah, no, Lula's different. She's more like Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm digging it.
Yeah. And then that's the end of this issue. We see they're approaching Starlight Beacon. And I'm just wondering what happened to Starlight Beacon, because they don't mention it at all afterwards, you know?
Well, you
It was
see,
such a big deal.
I think
It's coming up.
Phase 2 tells us something about it, which I'm nervous about. We saw that one post.
Yeah,
Which
Uh-oh.
can I survive or something like that? Like,
yeah.
no.
There's some spoilery artwork out there about the final phase of the High Republic, Phase 3.
Oh,
I thought
Yeah,
that
and
was
it
phase
looks
2. That's phase 3.
as Phase 3, start of
Phase
Phase 3.
3.
It's end of Phase 2, beginning of Phase 3.
because we're finishing up Phase 2 now.
Oh, I thought we were just getting into phase 2.
Yeah,
We're
so
ending
it's
Phase 2.
all getting a little bit hairy at the moment. So some of that artwork is has got some fairly frightening prospects of what's going to happen to the Jedi and everything else.
Yeah.
And I think you're right, Jonathan. There is a slogan that says which of the Jedi will survive, or something along those lines. And it's just like, oh crap, this is going to get deep.
Oh, that is pretty spoilery, but thanks for
Well,
sharing.
Whatever they do, it's being on phase 3 makes me a little nervous. I don't want this to end anytime soon. They could go on for years with these stories. So
Yeah.
I don't want them to say, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
No, and I think it's look, you know, we've got books until the end of January or so, at least. So and I'm sure it'll go on from there, because they're not going to leave it hanging like that. There's some really cool books and stuff coming out shortly over the next sort of few months.
I think I already have them pre-ordered.
Yeah.
Has
I
it
can't wait.
been confirmed that phase 3 is going to be the final one?
No,
Do you know that?
no. It'll be interesting to see what happens, though. I mean, I don't know how it can be.
Yeah, I mean, you still
Yeah.
got a lot of time. If you're going to, I mean, I don't know how far they're talking about taking this, but if you're going to run it all the way up to the prequels, you got a lot of time to fill in.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much stuff you can do and I think they should explain almost everything, really, to me. Why not run it up to at least explain it to how everything changes, how the Jedi, obviously they don't dress as gaudy anymore. They definitely change the way they act. So
Why not take it?
Yeah.
Which is cool, though. We talked about, like, there's some people who are alive, like Jabba's alive. That we've seen that in this, right? I didn't spoil it, right?
Well, you kind of spoiled it for me, but
It's not in Adventures, right? I thought
It's
Jabba,
in the other ones. Well, it's not Jabba. It's oh, what's her name?
well, but we have Yoda that's alive, and technically, like I was telling You guys,
And Yaddle.
I think Chewbacca's being born around now, so we have a lot.
That's right.
It's pretty cool. So
Um,
we get more characters.
Hey, you know, to that end too, when you look at the, they give you a little galaxy map of relevant planets, and Kashyyyk is on there,
Yeah.
like inside the cover of the issue, I believe, or one of the first couple pages.
I'm just so excited. I mean, Mike, we're talking about the other miniseries that are coming out too. There's going to be, they have 4 total miniseries announced. I love that. So just keep bringing them more. And I've only started the Monster. I haven't started the Shadow Trial, but then they have the Marchion, and then they have the one about the cruiser that we get to stay in Orlando.
The Halcyon. Yes, Galactic Cruiser.
I'm
Cool
super
stuff coming up.
excited about all those. I just don't want it to end.
So next issue, part 3, and it's got a nice Star Warsy cover. You know, very reminiscent of the Star Wars movie posters.
Yeah,
That looks like Naboo in the back.
Oh, it does a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I know it's their planet where they just were, but it gives me a little Naboo feel. It's green. It's got those domed buildings.
I just don't care for that kid.
I know you don't like him.
Which
I don't
one,
like him
Crix?
either. Crix.
Yeah.
you know who Crix is? Who's the kid that got eaten by the in the first couple issues of the Marvel one that we laughed at for like weeks?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, that kid that jumped into the
He went into the tunnel with the Drengir.
tunnel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was Chris.
that's who.
It was Crix. Yeah, he's a punk.
People in Star Wars get too emotional sometimes. You lied to me. Shut up. You're your best friend. Don't go with the eye, you idiot.
She saved his life.
Yeah.
I know.
No, she should have just let him die.
So
Splat.
sensitive.
Then
Jeez.
over with. All right, guys. So in a couple of weeks, we'll be on to issue number 3, continuing this story. I'm glad that they're just continuing one right after the other.
Yeah.
And
The Chronicles of Crix. I will say it would be an interesting dichotomy if Crix ends up being like a Nile warlord and Keen ends up being like a powerful Jedi, and eventually they bump heads.
Rich, are you spoiling it? Because have you already read these?
I haven't. I'm just guessing.
Okay.
I mean, you know, it's
Good
Star Wars,
guesses.
dude. We've all been watching and reading Star Wars for a long time. You can kind of see how these plot lines will sort of go forward, or at least the potential of them.
Yeah.
What's cool is interesting is that, I mean, a lot of Star Wars movies, you know immediately who's the main person's going to be. There's like, it's so broad. There's like 6 main people we can follow. And so it's really interesting. And they're like, is there going to be one that kind of takes the lead? There's going to be 6 or 7. They're all kind of even at the same time. So it's really interesting like that. Because obviously there's no one person yet. And I wouldn't mind it being Lula. I really think she has a great story to hers, how hers starts out. It'd be cool too.
Definitely.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree too. So, folks, get caught up with issue number 3 in 2 weeks and share with our discussion.
Yep. Any final thoughts on this episode, guys? Comic?
It's starting to heat up, isn't it? It'll be interesting to see where it goes once they, I mean, timeline wise, once they reach Starlight Beacon, whereabouts are they in the story? Because will they encounter the Drengir? Are they past that point? I've kind of lost track a little bit.
This is all before. This is before the Drengir.
Yeah, I mean,
They
it starts with
could
the
get
immersion.
forced in all of that.
This is all before Valor.
Yeah.
Okay.
The free comic book issue they sent out is kind of like, it helps you kind of check where you are with this group, because it puts you right in the middle of something, and it's like, okay, that's where we are with this timeline. So,
Which free comic book?
the free comic book day they gave with this group is the High Adventures. It's spoiler, but it's Valor is when they land on Valor. So it lets you know exactly where you are. That's like 6 or 7 issues down.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I like it. I like the characters. I like where it's going. I'm excited to keep reading and keep regurgitating it for the universe out there watching.
Likewise, and I think the IDW is a little bit easier to read than Marvel's. The story's a little bit more fluid.
The art's definitely different.
Mhm.
Like we said, that they do a little more PG in some things. They don't show you handy enough. But yeah, it's
And I
good.
mean,
The story moves along fast too. By the time we caught up, where it's a lot of things have changed, and there's been like several stories right then too. So,
And you know what? One thing I just thought of right now is this continues the Star Wars tradition of somebody losing an arm. So we can easily imagine it because it happened to Pondo Baba. So it happened to one of the Nile, lost an arm.
but who's
And it
that
happened.
arm?
It happened in issue number 2, just like it happened in movie number 2, Empire Strikes Back. So it's following the same tradition.
there you go.
I don't know if it even happened in the Marvel series. Did anyone lose a hand?
Yeah, skier.
Yes, skier.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So
Full
they're.
on, didn't they?
I like
Pretty
that.
soon, too.
So I wonder how many of the Star Wars little traditions are being continued in the comics. But that's a pretty cool one.
I'm glad they kind of, well, hopefully they continue just to sidestep the Drengir, because that just wasn't as cool as the Nile to me. I like that we're getting right to the Nile in this series. It does. I think it makes for a better read because they're just better villains.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Marvel's all about the Drengir. This comic, I haven't seen any Drengir the whole way through. I haven't seen any.
Yeah. But plus the Drengir were just like a little plot point for the Nile. Like it was just one of a way for them to move forward.
Right.
They were never really the true threat.
No, but they were the focus of the first 4 or 5 issues of the Marvel series.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Although I did like getting that background so I could understand it. And I do like that in the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland for the Jack Skellington overlay. They have that big Drengir looking monster.
They've always had that, but yeah.
But only when it's a Jack Skellington overlay, the
Yeah.
Halloween overlay, because
Yeah.
regular Haunted Mansion doesn't have it. But I like it because it's all like, like, oh, it's a Drengir.
That's funny.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Yes.
And we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks, everybody.
All right, everyone.
See you soon, guys.
2 weeks. 1.